Hi guys, I am back with my Sunday author vlog and update on what I've been working on. So in terms of writing, I've made some really good progress. So I finished the first draft of my fantasy novel on the 9th of October. You may have seen the kind of announcement for that, which is really exciting, that I've actually finished it. So the plan is to let it sit for a few weeks, just to kind of get it out of my head a little bit before I start the first round of self-edits. Because one of the problems with editing your own writing is that because you remember it, you can sort of skip over it and miss things. And there's going to be a few rounds of that before I send it off to hopefully somebody else to do an edit for me as well before it's ready for publication. I haven't even decided what route I'm going to go with publishing, whether I want to self-publish or whether I want to try and get into kind of traditional publishing and things. I think probably self-publishing is going to be the way I want to go with it, but we'll see how that goes. There's still a long way to go before I'm going to be ready for that, but we're going to let that project sit for a few weeks, and I'll probably get into the editing come the new year. So in the meantime, the bookish challenge is still going on with WAM, the writing challenge for the month of October. So I have started working on the next kind of idea that I had kind of plotted out. So I have outlined a huge chunk of this one, and it's a kind of horror mystery story that's kind of centred around an abandoned fairy tale themed amusement park. It does have series potential, I think, this one as well, so depending on how it goes, it is something that there might be more following the kind of main character from that book and other stories, so we'll see how that goes. I've got 3 chapters done and over 5,000 words so far, but I've got a good outline already for the book, so that should hopefully keep me motivated to keep writing and keep working on it, so we'll see how that goes. In terms of my reading, I have finished Dark as the Grave by T.G. Reid. I did like this book. It was quite nostalgic from the setting because it's set in a part of Scotland that I used to travel through quite regularly. Really quite a nice area between sort of Glasgow and Stirling. The ending was quite good, although I did see the kind of twist coming a mile away earlier in the book. Whether that was just me, I don't know, but there was a wee bit of kind of typo. There was some quotation marks missing and things like that, and some of the descriptions I found a bit strange, and kind of that brought me out of the story a little bit. I found the wording a bit kind of odd. I have to say the kind of colloquialisms and the vernacular wasn't too insane, so even people that aren't from central Scotland would still understand the book for the most part, because that's something that people can struggle with, because of the kind of vernacular that's used in this part of Scotland. It's not just about the accent, it's about the words and things, and the fact that we almost have our own language. You say when you in and around Glasgow and central Scotland, the language is a bit of a combination of English and Scots, with occasional words derived from Gaelic thrown in there as well, and it's almost its own dialect and its own language. So that's something that a lot of people outside Scotland might struggle to understand. But this book wasn't too bad with that. So I think it would still be pretty good for people even that aren't from this area. That it's not too heavy on the vernacular, which is always a good thing, I think. Because if you use too much of that, then you're really limiting your audience, because it's going to be difficult for anybody that's not from that particular area to understand. So it's not the best book I've ever read, but I did enjoy it, and I might consider checking out some of the other books in the series in the future. So my next read is The Mortal Blade by Christopher Mitchell. That's part 1 of a series, and it's a kind of fantasy novel. Quite intriguing so far. I'm only 2 chapters in though, so it's still very early days. But so far I'm kind of enjoying it, so I'm intrigued to see where the story is going to go. In terms of the channel on YouTube, Tuesday we'll be continuing Old World Blues. Thursday I'm going to start working on the video covering Vault 22, which should be fun because Vault 22 is insane. There's a lot happened there, so it might be that video gets split into 2 parts, just depending on how much time I end up putting into it, because there's a lot to talk about and it does have consequences in other places. So there's a connection to Honest Hearts DLC, and that's kind of interesting. There's a connection in World Blues as well. And then next Saturday I'm going to cover the geckos in Fallout New Vegas. So that should be quite interesting, especially that brings us to another species that has evolved the ability to breathe fire, with the fire geckos. And again, in Honest Hearts you've got the giant green ones as well, so we'll get to talking about them and talking about geckos in general, because they're very interesting reptiles. Hello. Echo wants to say hi apparently. Right, come on now. Come on now. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that's worth mentioning in terms of games is I have pre-ordered the new Dragon Age game. Fallout is absolutely one of my favourites, but I also am a big fan of the Dragon Age series. So I'm quite excited for Veilguard. I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go with it. So I have pre-ordered that. It comes out on Halloween, I think, the 31st of October. So I'm tempted, and I might bring you guys along with me for the first playthrough, and maybe making that into a series. So yeah, if that's something that you'd be interested in, let me know. I think that could be quite fun. I have also been thinking about kind of live streaming and whether that's something that I want to do. I've never really done any kind of live streaming before, so it's all kind of very new to me, and how to manage it and everything. So we'll have to see. The one thing about that is that obviously I've mentioned before, I'm preparing to move house, and where I'm moving back in with family, I don't know if the internet's going to be good enough to stream when I've moved, or whether it's going to be able to handle it. So I don't want to kind of commit to doing something like that regularly and then have to stop for a while. So we'll see what happens. But that's kind of what I've achieved this week, and some plans for next week. So I'm going to be continuing writing away on my next novel, and I'm going to get these videos ready for you guys for all the Fallout stuff. And obviously can't forget to look after this fuzzball who likes to be involved. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and I'll catch up with you guys soon. See you later. Bye.